So officially, Joel Dueña is coming back as Blue Beetle in Man of Tomorrow, which is pretty cool. But I have to ask, what the fuck is the plot of this movie? Listen, I understand it's a year away, okay? But like, what is with this half semi-Superman sequel stuff? Like, I'm so confused. Because you look at this list of the characters that are rumored to be in this movie, like, that's kind of fucking insane. I don't know how audiences would react to like a not Justice League movie, but there's a shit ton of characters, but it's also not a Superman movie. You know what I mean? I've seen some say that it's like, oh, well, Captain America Civil War is still a Captain America movie, but I feel like that's very different. This is the third Captain America film, and, you know, since that movie's out, like, I've always defended the fact that, yes, it does feel like a Captain America movie still. Like, he's clearly, obviously, the main character. Superman will very well probably be also the main character of this film. But there is a few, like, story beats that I think could, like, be the reason why this story involves so many superheroes. Some I like much more than others, because, again, I really just want this to be Superman 2. Like, come on. When was the last time we got a superhero film, and then 2 years later we got the sequel? Like, I swear that hasn't happened in so long. So the first option, despite me not really wanting this, is probably the most likely, and that's that this movie is adapting Panic in the Sky, which is a Superman story. It's as simple as Brainiac invades using, you know, Mongo's Warworld, but Brainiac's controlling it. And Superman takes, like, basically a task force of superheroes up to fucking, like, Brainiac and shit, and there's also, like, some heroes on the ground on Earth still. I can totally see this being, like, a loose adaptation of that. It's just Superman takes the current heroes of the DCU, the current strongest heroes of the DCU, up to Brainiac's ship, or whatever the hell Brainiac's gonna be controlling in this movie. And, yeah. I think that makes it. That's probably what's most likely gonna happen. Again, I don't personally want this because I really just want this to be a Superman sequel. The other two options are fairly similar, I guess, and either or, in my opinion, would be leagues better than what I just explained. And that's basically Brainiac thinks ahead and basically like kidnaps Earth's best heroes and has them in like a cryo state or something like that. So like they all just have like sort of cameos. Superman's only option is to team up with Lex Luthor to stop Brainiac because there's quite literally nobody left, so that's why he has to team up with Lex. That is probably my favorite option because again, it makes sense why they're like hyping up like the team up with Lex and Superman because it's like, yeah, of course, if that's the only option left, like, yeah. But the final option that I think is also very possible, and I would also be fine with this too. You might be wondering why I'm showing the Invincible War, but basically, like, I could totally see something where this is still a Lex Luthor and Superman team up movie, but since Brainiac's invasion is going to be a global invasion, similar to the Invincible War, despite this focusing on Mark Grayson and like the surrounding characters in the Invincible story, we still got to see other heroes' POVs in sort of cameos. Like Tech Jacket, for example, I could totally see Blue Beetle fighting like a fucking Brainiac drone somewhere in like a montage of like all the other heroes fighting in their parts of the world. That would also be perfect in my opinion. Like I don't really need these guys to have like main roles in this movie. Again, like, yeah, this is a lot of kids, and this is not even all the fucking heroes that are gonna be in the film. It really is like at this point, why not just have a Justice League movie, right? And I also feel like it's weird because James Gunn said he doesn't want to repeat the mistakes of the past. But one thing people said about BVS was like, oh, there's way too much in this movie, this and that. And I'm not defending BVS. I have this shit at like a fucking 5 out of 10. I swear, every time I criticize Gunn, it feels like this image. Bro, I don't like 90% of the shit Snyder did either. I feel like it is a fair point, and like, I'm gonna be honest, Man of Tomorrow kind of seems like way more is gonna be in that movie than BVS. I mean, like, BVS had Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, and then it also had like cameos from those other heroes that weren't really in the movie, like Aquaman and Flash. But son, if all of these characters are like main characters in the film, I'm gonna question it. You know, just like I question, you know, going to Thailand and like, you know, one of the ladies there was like, they knew everything one of my friends knew who went missing in Thailand. I think that was weird. But yeah, I'm still hyped. I'm just questioning it. Everyone should question things.